Hi, welcome back to Survival Guide for Changing Times. This is episode 6, and the subject today is bartering. Bartering and creating a new economy for yourself. So, uh, yeah, I am just seeing incredible opportunities everywhere. I just am seeing I'm just so excited about all these new growth and new in nature and animals, and also a new opportunity, for really creating a whole new landscape in your life and a new economy. So let's see. So I want to talk about bartering. Now, bartering can be kind of tricky. And so I'm just going to go through a step at a time with, my recommendations about the best way to succeed at bartering. And when you start thinking in those terms, there is so much available, so many great things. So in my experience, you can really set, you know, exchange services for about 80% of your needs in your life. Um, so I'm going to just go through a step at a time about how best to set it up so it's very successful and it's a positive experience for you. And you can do this if you're working and you're generating your regular income, you're doing it from home, or if you're not working, or yeah, so either way, if you're working or not working. And so basically, so the first place to start is to make a list. And you make a list of all your skill sets and resources that you have. And when you really start thinking about it, oh my goodness, you have so many resources. So let's say you have a car, food. You might have fruit trees in your yard, uh, or you might be really stocked up on a particular kind of food. Um, Services, whatever your skill sets are that you can put forward as services. It could be childcare, household needs, gas cards, yard services. Let's see here, tech help, legal services. Uh, and even if you're a musician, you could teach music lessons on Zoom. Um, so yeah, there's just so many places that that we can exchange in a way that's helpful. So you start by making a list of your own skill sets and your own resources that you can put forward. So number one, you make that page. Number two, you make a list of friends, family, people in your community or online groups or your church community or people you've worked, your people you've worked with, and you make a list of all those people. And then as you scan, you consider, each person and write next to their name what their skill sets or resources might be. And then there's some people who are working and they're making the same amount of income as they were. And what's happened though is because they're working from home, that all of a sudden they have a totally new landscape and priorities of things they need that they may not have needed before. So, uh, so even if you're working, your needs are changing. So there's a lot of combinations of how that can work. So, number two, make your list of all your people and all the resources that you think they might be able to offer. So, when you make the list, number one list of your resources, prioritize them in order from the highest need to the lowest need. And so, put a number by those prioritized in order. And then, once you do that, you really go with your top needs, pursue your top needs first. And so then you'll look at that list number 2, and you can scan that list for people that might fall in the top 3 category for what your needs are. So then once you do that, then you can, connect with those people and figure out if you both want to do it. Now, this is the tricky trick about bartering, is bartering can be great or it can really not be great. And the way it is very successful is a couple things must be in place, like non-negotiable, have to be in place. So one is you both have to have a genuine mutual need. Meaning, you've got yours you wrote down, and maybe they have theirs, that they wrote down, and you both have a genuine mutual need for one another's service. Now, because the biggest breakdown that happens with bartering is one person wants your services and you don't want their services. You don't really need them. It's just like an extra. It's not something that's on your list that you really want. And so when that's in place, then almost every time it ends up in an upset. It doesn't work. It ends up in a breakdown. So number one is make sure that you're setting this bartering up with someone that you both have balanced needs, basically. Now, once you do that, I recommend setting it up on a dollar exchange. So one person might have a $100 an hour rate, one person might have a $25 an hour rate, and it really only works to keep it in the dollar exchange. It does not work to put it into a time exchange. If it goes into a time exchange, this is another breakdown that someone ends up being pissed off. So you don't want to do that. You want to set it up for success. So I recommend trading strictly on a dollar exchange. So anyhow, once you do that, you come to an agreement about who needs what and that dollar exchange, and set up whatever the terms are. So let's see here. Yeah, so it's really important to determine solid matches. And then the other thing is, like I want to go back to, I already said this, is some other people are working from home and their income is the same, but their needs are different now. So you may be able to offer them some services or resources that would be helpful, and they could pay you for that, or buy you a gas card or whatever you need. If you're someone especially if you're someone who was working and you're not working now. So, okay. So another thing that's awesome is food exchanges. Food exchanges, when you really start looking, oh my gosh, there are so many opportunities for food exchanges. So some people are gardeners, some people just have, fruit trees in their yard, and there's generally, a lot of people in your neighborhood, unless you live in urban apartments. Even in urban apartments, though, people have like little, gardens on their balconies or whatever. So you'd be really surprised how many people are gardeners, how many people grow food. And so it's so fun to start to locate people near you, in a reasonable proximity, that have different kinds of food. So, it could be one has an apple tree, one has a lemon tree, one is growing lettuces or whatever. And so starting to locate people with gardens and food, and, agree to food exchanges. And it could be that yours is ripe. You have lemons and they're all ripe. And then the other person has another kind of fruit, and that's not going to be ripe for 3 months. So what you do is then you make an agreement about an exchange, that when that food is ripe, then you get to come harvest some of that. So that is super fun. And there's an app. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but there is an app that is designed specifically for a community of food exchanges. And those apps go there. It's a template, and that app is in all different communities. So you can go to that app and put in the one that's in your area, or put in, it might be one app that's in several different cities, but you put in your own city, and then all kinds of people pop up that they're offering, cantaloupe or whatever, they have listed there what they're offering. And then so you can see what that is and know what you're offering, and contact them and inquire about an exchange. And it's really fun. It's really fun. Oh, the other thing that's a great resource for that is Nextdoor, because Nextdoor is right in your area. And on Nextdoor, you would be surprised. A lot of times, what you need, the perfect tech guy to help you, is right around the corner. So there's just so many resources right in your neighborhood that you won't know of. So if you post it on Nextdoor, you will find out, what you need. You can post what you need. You'll find out all these fantastic resources right in your area. So one thing that's a super fun byproduct of bartering is you end up generating like whole new communities. You might generate a food community. You might generate a business community. Or the other thing is, you could even cook for people. Some people just, they're single person and they don't like to cook, and they're not going out to eat, but they need food. So if you're someone who loves to cook, you could even agree to cook meals for them. So there's just so many resources. And let's see. I'm looking here. Match to make sure it's a match. Like I said, you really have to do that. And yeah, so then based on that, now the next thing is for us to all be as safe as possible health wise. So if you're doing something for someone, the best thing to do is, if you can, to do that in your house or do it on Zoom. Now, if it's food and you're having to take it, to that person and exchange it with that person, make sure you sanitize everything before you do any type of exchange. And then, obviously immediately wash your hands and, all that stuff. And, do your best to maintain a distance or wear a mask or whatever, and be really safe. And try to interface physically with as few people as possible. So anything you can do either in your own house or on Zoom, do that. And then, like I said, sometimes when it comes down to food, it could even be that you leave it on your porch. You leave a basket on your porch of that food, and that person says, I'm coming over at 2 o'clock to pick it up. So that can work too. Anyhow, so the main thing is, when we do exchanges right now, really important to follow all safety health protocols and be sure that you do that. So that's all for today. And, have fun with it. Have fun with, looking at what your needs are. Have fun with kind of exploring your friends and friends and family and community and what they offer. And have fun with creating new relationships and new communities. It is just awesome. So it's just the best. So anyhow, all right, have fun, be well, and take care. Oh, and my name's Denise Sims, and you can go to my website and learn more about my services if you want at samaxiancoaching.com. Also, really simple, denisesims.com. They both go to the same site. And if this was helpful, click the like or subscribe or share or any of those things. And yeah, I hope this is helpful, and have a great day.